Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and today I'm going to be doing a comparison video between the D.O.N issue 2 and the D.O.N issue 1. So of course this is Donovan Mitchell's two signature shoes from Adidas, and they're both budget models. You know, they're both using bounce cushioning, but they are pretty different as far as the overall design goes and how it feels on foot. So let's get it started off with the traction. So for the one, they're using basically a herringbone traction pattern, but it's modified to look like a spider web. The traction for me, like on a clean court, it was really good. It has a good stop and all that. But then I had some issues on dust. You know, it would slip out pretty dangerously and it would pick up dust pretty quickly as well. So I wasn't really a huge fan of the performance of the outsole here. As far as the durability, I didn't really play with them outdoors, but you know, the rubber is pretty damn hard. The D.O.N issue 2, they switched it up. You know, I guess it is herringbone, seeing that it does go in multiple directions, but they spaced it out so much more and it looks a lot more like a spider web. It basically is a spider web, you know. And in this colorway, it's fully translucent, and you can see here in the outsole it says boom, pow, and screech and stuff, you know. The durability seems like it's going to be a little bit better because the rubber is so hard, but of course we'll have to see. Like, I was trying both of these on my wood floor and the D.O.N issue just stopped a little bit better, you know what I'm saying. The D.O.N issue 2 didn't really seem to have a good bite, you know, on my wood floors, of course. And then moving on to the heel to toe transition, that is one thing I really didn't like about the D.O.N issue 1. Of course, I know people that don't mind it and they don't really care about it, and if you don't, that's good for you, you know. But for me, I really don't like how flat, like, look at that. Look at that's a pancake, you know. So here in the heel, you have a nice curved shape. It protrudes out like crazy, which we'll get into. But look at that. Like, you know, one good thing though is that it flexes pretty well here in the forefoot. Not super easily, but you know, it flexes. But then it's a slapper, you know. I don't like how that feels. D.O.N issue 2, look at that. Look at how much more it curves up here in the forefoot. You have a nice curved shape here in the heel as well. And also it's easier to flex in the forefoot for the 2. One thing I don't like about it though is the decoupling here. And it just feels like the heel is pretty elevated, right? It's pretty high up off the ground and has a pretty substantial offset, right? The forefoot is pretty low to the ground. So like, for example, if this decoupling wasn't there, I feel like it would have been like more of a slope, a little bit smoother. But then in this shoe, to me, it feels like it's just like this, you know? So my foot is kind of like uncomfortable here in where the decoupling is. It's not a huge deal, but it's just something that I notice, and it's just something that I feel is uncomfortable and I don't like. But of course, I like the D.O.N issue 2 better because of this. Alright, moving on to the materials. The materials in the toe box area, they're both pretty thick and they're both very supportive. They're both using a type of mesh, and on foot it feels pretty nice. You know, it conforms to your foot. There is fuse here in the toe box area in the D.O.N issue 1. It pretty much covers the entire toe box. The D.O.N issue 2, you only have a little bit of synthetic material on the medial side with a little bit of stitching. I feel like they should have put it here, like in the middle. So in the toe box, it pretty much feels the same for both of the shoes. But like, moving on to the tongue and I guess the padding in the ankle area, the D.O.N issue 2 has a lot more padding. The D.O.N issue 1, I mean, it's not as well padded. They're both using a half booty construction for the tongue, and of course in the ankle area, the D.O.N issue 2 has just insane amounts of padding, you know? The D.O.N issue 1 still has a good amount of padding because of these Achilles pillows, but it's just not as much as the 2. So yeah, the D.O.N issue 2, definitely you feel the materials a lot more on your foot. And I guess they both have heel tabs. The D.O.N issue 1 definitely has a lower cut here in the ankle area. The 2 is a little bit more of a mid cut, you know. It kind of goes over your ankle bone. The D.O.N issue 1 really doesn't. And of course, both of these shoes are very easy to put on. So I feel like I like the D.O.N issue 1 a little bit better because I prefer more minimal materials. If you like to have a lot of padding and you like to have your shoes feel very cozy and comfortable, then the D.O.N issue 2 is probably the better option. As far as the fit goes, both of these shoes didn't really fit me too well. So I went true to my Adidas size for both of the shoes, and they both run like a little wide. D.O.N issue 1 is a little bit more snug in the toe box area, so I guess the D.O.N issue 1 fits me a little bit better. And also another thing that I noticed in the 2 for me, hopefully it'll break in though, is that it's super tight where like this first eyelid is. Like, it's roomy here in the toe box area, but then it's just so tight here that my feet basically fall asleep. The D.O.N issue 1, I really didn't have any issues, and I like how there's more eyelets. You know, in the 1, there's 5 eyelets. In the 2, there's 4 eyelets, right? and it just feels like you can tighten the shoe a little bit more in more places. And as far as the support and lockdown goes, for lateral containment, I had no issues with the one. You know, you have the midsole coming up, you have this plastic wing piece in the midfoot area, you have this material coming up as well, so you have a lot of lateral containment, which is good. Here in the 2, you have the bounce midsole coming up here in the forefoot, midfoot, and in the heel. So lateral containment, I feel like it's gonna be very, very good. Of course, they protrude out a lot here on the lateral side. You guys see how wide both of these shoes are. So I don't think there's gonna be any issues with lateral stability. And as far as the cushioning goes, they're both using bounce midsoles, full-length bounce, and the D.O.N issue 2 feels a little bit thicker and a little bit higher up off the ground. The D.O.N issue 1, you actually have pretty good court feel, which I like in the D.O.N issue 1 a little bit better. I can feel the bounce cushioning in the heel a little bit more in the 2 though. So I like the D.O.N issue 1 cushion a little bit better because, you know, it's a little bit lower to the ground, and of course impact protection was still pretty good in the D.O.N issue 1, right? As far as the weight goes, I don't know guys, what do you guys think? They're both pretty bulky and pretty heavy. Okay, so it's 14.71 ounces for the 1, and the 2 is 13.9 ounces. So it's definitely lighter in the 2, which is kind of weird. I don't know why. I thought the 2 was going to be a little bit heavy because there's just so much more padding. But both of these shoes definitely feel bulky, right? So the upper feels more bulky in the 2. You know, like I said, the padding and all that, it's just thicker. But then, like underneath your foot, especially with all this bubbling here on the lateral side for the bounce cushioning, and look at how much the heel protrudes out as well. Look at that, compared to the 2. You know, like the 2 pretty much goes straight down, the 1 is just, oh my god, right? And that's also another reason I didn't like the 1, is because it's just bulky, it's heavy, and it was just so flat, you know? And it pretty much feels the same way in the 2. It's heavy, it's bulky, and I guess it's a little bit more streamlined though. If you look at the cushioning, it doesn't protrude out as much, like here in the heel, as well as on the lateral side. So I guess they did improve on weight and bulkiness in the 2, which I like. I just wish they didn't put as much padding as they did in the tongue as well as in the ankle area. But of course, that's just personal preference. I'm sure there's gonna be people who love that, you know? As far as the aesthetics go, oof, I don't know. They're both kind of weird looking to me. The D.O.N issue 1, there were some cool colorways. The 2, there are some cool colorways coming out. But I feel like the 2 looks a little bit better to me. And of course, you guys want to see something, right? These are the same size, right? Let's kind of like even this up. Look at how much it protrudes out. Look at how much longer the D.O.N issue 1 is. You know what I'm saying? Moving back to aesthetics. Yeah, I like the 2 a little bit better. The 1's still not bad though. So tell us what you guys think looks better down in the comment section below. And also, you know, I like the little details on the shoe. Like here in the 1, it says bounce here in the back. But on the 2, it says bounce here in the middle on the medial side. For Donovan Mitchell's logo, you have it here on the tongue for the 1. And then 2 is here in the heel. And I kind of like this. You know, it says issue number 1 here. It doesn't really say issue number 2 or anything anywhere on this shoe. But anyways, as far as the initial comparison goes, there's just things that I don't like about both of the shoes. Of course, I'm gonna need to play in the 2 a little bit more to see which one I like better. But I feel like I like the 2 just a tiny bit better. You know, it's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit more streamlined, it's less bulky. Like, I guess like where the midsole is. It's bulkier in the material, so, you know. But then the cushioning, I like a little bit better in the D.O.N issue 1. You know, there's just like, it's a little bit of a toss-up, you know what I'm saying? But for the main differences is, I guess the weight, like where the overall weight and bulk is. You know, and the cushioning is a little bit higher in the 2, and I feel like that's just what Donovan Mitchell likes. You know, I don't think he really cares about weight, kind of like Russell Westbrook. He just wants his shoes to be like cozy with a good amount of padding, and he wants his shoes to feel really, really supportive and like rigid, you know? Which of course, that's just a preference. That's just not what I prefer, you know? But anyways, that about wraps up this video. Hope this video helped you guys out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.